Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I figured if I to do, why not this one? Been need to do it sometime, and I figured why not have some fun? It won't be long before we get to another boring, miserable day, so why not? And this is to do with, I want to do a few of these. I want to do a few of them during the week. And that is my favourite movies for a certain day. So this one's going to be my favourite movies of 1984. So all my favourite films, what I like in that decade, that day, whether it's horror, whether it's action, whether it's sci-fi, whatever, my favourite films of 1984. So I'm gonna have fun, why not? Let's have a ball. So without ado, here's one for you. Um, the sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark, even though we could technically say it's a prequel, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That's right, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I like this one because, like I said about repeating myself, you could say it's a prequel, and it is based on 1935. I believe that Harrison Ford had to work out, Jane Russell used Ray. He really worked out in this one. It made the original look like a walk in the park. Again, you get Pat Rowe, surprised his role, but this time as an Indian. When they done him up and made him look like an Indian. And this was the one what was in America had the first PT-13, and it was definitely cut in the UK. It was definitely cut. The only way you could get it is on an American site where you want to see it in its sat. But even for a PT-13, it's definitely a lot of violence in it. I'm not saying it's a really violent, but it's definitely a ballsy film. You've got kids getting raped, you've got a dad, there's been Indian dad pulling people's hearts out. It's a fun ride. I look at Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as a fun ride, a roller coaster ride. It has horror, it has action, it has adventure. It's a good one. My next favourite film would be Runaway with my mate Magnum PI, that being Tom Selleck. I love that one. That's one I would say is an unestimated film, The Runaway. Never seen Runaway? Good film from 1984. Through to this day, you got John Selleck as a cop. You've got Tiff Siddons, remember his name, well known, who played in the band Chicks, Teak Villains. And I kind of like him in this. There's a bit of he shoots a door and the bullet fires out. This is a film that has more imagination than some of the shit they waste money on nowadays. I love the PV shot where the bullet's chasing people about and they're running. I love the robotic spiders to jump out. They put a spike in you and they're made out of acid. I love it. It's a good one. Never heard of the Runaway? Check it out. It was in competition at the time as The Exterminator. It's a dirty Exterminator beating it in ratings, but I still love The Runaway. A very underestimated hidden gem, I may add. And without ado, he'll be back. That being The Exterminator. This was the film that launched Arnold Schwarzenegger, land him on the map, because we all know during the early 80s he did Dope the Barbarians, he did Red Sonja, he did films that was used to soul that. You know, we did all that, and at the time there was a lot of other actors who was going to do this role, believe it or not. And he read it, he liked it, went with it, and it's a damn good one. I mean, it's a good one from, how can I put it? If I remember his fucking name, I remember him. I remember him shooting Piranhas 2. So on. Very good director, if I can remember his fucking name. But he was a director, we all know, giving us The Abyss. David Tramlin, that's it. David Tramlin, the one that did us The Abyss. Worked on the Piranhas 2. That deal was unfair, but I've took that back. He went all to blame. He worked on the set on Trinity of Terror, damn underestimated hidden gem. He worked on a lot of that, and this was his big break. His big break being The Exterminator. So David Tramlin did a good one. It's based on the future. You could say it took up the story of Ryan Bond of one of the episodes of The Outer Limits, which he got his shit for. And I kind of like this. I love the fact that Arnie plays a bad there. Really knocks on the door. It's all firing. He's shooting women, and when you think about it, the Exterminator is technically a horror film and a sci-fi and an action film. And you say Arnie's sort of like a slasher, sort of like your Freddy Krueger, sort of like your Jason Voorhees and all that. And fuck it, without ado. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Bullshit. We all know at the time that Friday the 13th, the final chapter, was going to be the last ever Friday the 13th film. As money talks, and that was not the case. And in 1 year after, we had the new beginning, and the rest is history. But I do like this one, even though it was going to be the last one. And I love, this is something I would beg Paramount. I know Paramount is never the lover of these, but I would beg them to bring out a complete and utter uncut version of Friday the 13th. That one, not the final chapter bullshit. We all know it wasn't the final one, but that one, uncut, because there is an uncut one. You can find it on YouTube, and all the death scenes are a lot more bloodier. They're a lot more fire. The bit where that woman's on the dinghy and she's naked and she has a knife in the shoulder, there's a lot more to that, which you notice it looked cut. That's because it was. There's a lot more blood in it, a lot more gore. And I think that would have actually been a lot better. I mean, Don Savini, like he did in the original, did the effects in this. And I like it. It's a good one. I know the actor who played Jason sadly is no longer with us, who played Jason in that era, I should say. But it's a good one. You had a good cast of actors. I love the line that Di says, "You're a dead fuck, and the computer does not lie." I love it. It makes you sad that these characters get killed, but what an ultimate death, and would it have been better to see it in its uncut sat? Speaking of tacit horrors, this is God. Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street. You want to see a horror movie, do it the right way, and then you want to see a horror movie, do it the shit way. What's a Nightmare on Elm Street? The original, the 1984 one. Then what's the shitty 2010 one? A CGI orgasm. Fucking Freddy, it's all laughable. You laugh your ass off. Copies every line from every sequel. Huh. This one, on the other hand, does it the right way. The bit with the arm steps out. Yeah, some people say now it's dated, but the fact it's practical, I'd go with that any day. The line I just said, "This is Dodd. Tina, what's this?" He cuts his fingers off. He's there, smiling when he's doing it. Rips a face off. Everything in that, to me, is proper horror by a real director, not a hack like the fucking horrible remake, a proper director being Wes Craven. Wes Craven made a masterpiece, made Wes Craven rest in peace. Damn good director. This is a man doing this disturbing fucked up films like The Last House on the Left, classics like The Hills Have Eyes. This goes on. And this, in my eyes, is just like them. It is a classic. That being A Nightmare on Elm Street. I've done enough sucking Freddy there. It's a good one. Speaking of a good one, they almost got in shit Nightmare on Elm Street for this, that being Dream Date. With Stephen Chade, another one of my favourite actors. I love Dream State. You want to see a movie with real imagination, a lot of good imagination. Dream State, you've never seen it, another hidden gem from 1984. In this one, you got Stephen Chade, he can get into people's teams, like Nightmare on Elm Street, almost got your shit. And the imagination in this to me is one of them films that will make me fucking cry, because you'll never see a film like this again. And I'm begging, do not do a fucking remake. Does not need a remake. This is a damn good imaginative film that Hollywood needs to learn from today. And no, I don't mean a fucking shit make. They need to learn from a movie from this era will add imagination without doing sign language. It's a good one. So there's a few films there. I'm going to carry on talking about my favourite movies from 1984. I'm going to do other eras and all. If there's a film I've missed out, I'm going to keep doing 1984. So bear with me. But if there's any eras of films what you like in a certain era, let me know. It'd be interesting to know. I'll leave a nice comment. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.